Today we're going to discuss lines of best fit. They're also known as trend lines, and this will fit nicely with the scatter plot lesson we did on our previous e-learning day, and will also lead us into a project that we're going to begin when we return to school. So first is a definition. Please make sure you write this down, but a line of best fit, or a trend line, is a line that's drawn through the data points of a scatter plot to help show the correlation between the data more clearly. It's also helpful when making predictions. So as you can see in the two images here, there are two scatter plots drawn or created, and then we have the line of best fit, which is this red line here on the left and also the red line on the right, that's drawn through the data. You'll notice it is a straight line, and it's not connecting the dots. It's going through kind of like the middle or the average of all of the data points on the scatter plot. And we're going to focus on how to draw that line so that it is where it should be, and also how to write the equation of the line. So if you want to just jot down these two quick images, you don't have to get real fancy or technical as far as the labeling on the graphs, but just draw yourself a couple of quick scatter plots and draw this line of best fit through the two graphs. So then what I want to talk about are the tips for drawing a line of best fit and writing the equation for the line. So when you draw a line of best fit, the first thing you want to make sure you're doing is balancing the number of points that are above the line with the number of points that are below the line. And I'm going to go back a slide to the previous graph so you can see what we mean here. If we look at the graph over on the right hand side, the line of best fit, if we were to count the data points that are above the line or kind of on the right top side, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we look down below, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice I'm not counting 2 of the points because the line actually appears to go through those 2 points. So this is a good balance of this data, 4 points above and 4 points below. The second thing you want to do is draw your line through 2 known points. And the reason why you want to do it through 2 known points is because then on step 3, you're going to use those 2 known points to calculate the slope. Remember the slope formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I go back just real quick and look at this same scatter plot, you can see that it goes through this ordered pair and through that ordered pair. And because someone actually plotted those points on the graph, those 2 ordered pairs would actually have known values. It makes it a lot easier to calculate the slope. Then finally, in the last step, step number 4, we're going to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form using a point on the line and the slope. And remember, we've done this before, but you need to find the b first. So let's look at an example. You'll see that I already have a scatter plot drawn, and I want you to draw the line of best fit through the data points and then write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So here on this graph we have a lot of different data points, and I'm going to change my pen color here so that it's a little bit easier to see the line and kind of what I'm thinking. So some things you would not do. You wouldn't draw a line of best fit here. That doesn't make any sense. You can see that the data is kind of trending up and to the right. This line is a little too steep. Again, you wouldn't draw your scatter plot or your trend line down here. This is too low. All of your data points are above the line. So those are not good lines of best fit. As I kind of look through the data, I'm looking kind of in the middle here. I see this point, I see this point. Here are some points that are in the middle. Remember, I want my line to go through 2 of those points, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the first 2 that I had circled there. So, and I don't have a ruler or a straight edge, but I'm going to do my best to draw a straight line through these 2 points. And it looks like I just missed a third one at the top, and that's okay. You can go through more than 2 points if you like. So if we look at my line of best fit, let's count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could really count 5 points above the line, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points below the line. So There were an odd number of points on the graph, so this is still a good line of best fit because I have 5 above and I have 6 below. So now we want to write the equation of this line. Remember, when you write an equation, you need the slope and you need the y-intercept. So the first thing I'm going to do is focus on the 2 points that my line goes through. And I'm going to label those 2 points. The first point is 3, 4. And the second point is 5, 6. So I need to calculate the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's going to be 6 minus 4 over 5 minus 3. And I get 2 over 2, or 1. So the slope is 1. Now remember, we write y equals mx plus b. We're going to use one of the ordered pairs and the slope to plug into the equation. So 3 is x, 4 is y, and this is the m. So I get 4 equals 1 times 3 plus b. 4 equals 3 plus b. Subtract 3 from both sides, and we get that b equals 1. So now when we write our equation, we're using the b and the slope, and we get y equals 1x plus 1. Or you could write y equals x plus 1. And this problem worked out kind of nicely. You'll find, though, that when you write trend lines, oftentimes we get kind of an ugly slope. And that's okay. It's fine if we leave it as a fraction. Remember, we don't change it to a decimal or typically write it as an improper or as a mixed number. We keep it as an improper fraction. So this is the end of the lesson today. We will be going on and starting a project where we're looking at growth of flowers, and we will need to be using our line of best fit to make predictions, and we'll also be using it, the lines of best fit, and writing the equations of those lines.